foods eaten on special days. Jangwol Daeborum is the first full moon of the year. On this day, Okok-bop, 5-grain rice, and namul, vegetables, are eaten. Experience the fabulous taste of Okok-bop with its 5 grains. Try making many different namul with dried vegetables. These foods all have a different meaning attached to them. On Korean Food Story, learn about the different Daeborum foods and traditions. These foods are made for the health and unity of the family. Daeborum food even looks healthy. Let's start with Okok-bop and namul.
안녕하세요. Hi everyone, I'm Chung Hwa-young, your host for More Than Kimchi, where we look forward to sharing with you the joy of cooking Korean food. The first full moon of the lunar year, or Jangwol Daeborum, is a big holiday in Korea. On that day, we always prepare special foods, including Okok-bop, 5-grain rice, and ahob-namul, 9 vegetables. Now let's say hello to Mrs. Lee Dong-sun, who will teach us how to make Okok-bop and ahob-namul. 선생님 안녕하세요.
안녕하세요.
오늘 뭐가 많은데 잘 부탁드리겠습니다.
네, 반갑습니다.
Also, I'm happy to have Melanie Billings-yoon with us as our guest today. Hello, Melanie.
Hi.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
So I don't know whether you've heard of Okok-bop. It means lots of grains together making rice. So let's take a look at the ingredients for Okok-bop first. Here I have a regular plain rice called sal, and chapsal, sweet rice, black beans, red beans, millet called susu, and then this is chamjo, which is like a glutinous millet family. So these are the grains we're going to use. And for seasoning, just the salt. Okay. And let's take a look at the ahob-namul I introduced as 9 vegetables. But today we'll show you making just 3 kinds. So here I have dried eggplants and then dried hobak, which is zucchini. And then here this is dried fern fronds. This, I don't know whether you've seen. This is something Koreans really love.
Actually, they're becoming quite popular in
is
the
that
West
right?
now
Yeah.
because you can forage and find them in the forest, little baby ferns.
Yeah, that's right. And let's take a look at the seasoning that we're going to use for those vegetables. Here we have soy sauce, sesame seeds, sesame oil, chopped green onions and chopped garlic, salt and sugar, and a little bit of vegetable oil we're going to stir fry. 재료 소개 다 끝났는데
네.
시작할까요? So let's start cooking.
네,
Lots
자.
of different ingredients today we have.
네.
So first we'll start with the red beans.
자, 먼저 팥은요. 한번 씻어서
네.
한번 끓이세요.
네. So red beans are called pat in Korean, and we need to boil them before we cook rice. And also, after we boil, we reserve the water that you boil with. It has a kind of nice reddish color that we're going to use when we cook rice.
You know, this kind of reminds me of Jamaican red beans and rice.
Yeah. So
Same basic idea.
Is the rice kind of red?
Yes,
Yeah.
it picks up the
Yeah.
red, but the difference is that in Korea you use the very short-grained rice,
Right.
which is more glutinous than they do in America,
Oh, is
where the
that
grains
right?
are longer.
Yeah, right. But we like those sticky rice here. So red beans are being boiling over there, and then we need to soak the black beans overnight. So just dried black beans, so you will soak it in water overnight. And then for millet, which is susu, this has kind of reddish sort of color. What we want to do is you rinse many times with fresh water, get rid of those red color.
Oh, okay.
These, have you seen this kind of grain?
I've heard of millet, but I've never cooked with it yet. It seems a little like barley. In
Yeah,
the way
they
that it
look they're
looks.
short barley, don't they look like that? And it's in Korean it's called susu, and you need to rinse a couple times with the water to get rid of those sort of reddish water we don't want to
손으로
use.
닦으세요.
And as you wash, make sure you just rub with your hands, so that way
To
you
take the hulls off.
right, also the color that has slight reddish color. So millet is ready. The beans you will soak overnight, and red beans you are boiling.
그리고
And then,
조는
네.
씻어서 건져주시고요.
And for this is called jo, which is glutinous millet. You just rinse it. That's all. You don't have to soak it in water.
This is something I've never encountered before, and it may be the hardest one to get outside of Korea. Is it possible to make this dish without this one ingredient?
Definitely. I said it's Okok-bop, but actually we are using 6 grains today.
Oh, it's 5 in Korean, right?
But the way, actually what we really like the number 5. It sort of symbolizes good fortune in Korea. So a lot of dishes we carry number 5 in reality, we might use more than 5. And for red bean, once it's boiling, you throw away the water, you put new fresh water. The reason is you want to slow down the cooking process, so that way the beans won't burst out. You want to keep the nice shape, so you take out the water and then put the fresh water and then boil again. And remember to reserve the water the second time. It's kind of nice pinkish color water that we will use when we cook rice. And this is a sweet rice that's been soaked for about an hour or 2 hours would be fine, and so it's regular rice. Once they are soaked, they look kind of the same, aren't they? But
Yes,
they
they
look
do.
the same, but when you look at them just raw, they are actually different. The sweet rice has kind of opaque white.
Yes, this is more
This,
transparent.
right. This is a regular rice, but you're going to soak them. The reason you are soaking grains before you cook is it makes the cooking process shorter, of course. Also, the rice is very tender. So
How long do you
important.
soak the rice?
About an hour or 2
Okay.
hours, yeah. And you can do maybe a little shorter. And the way you make rice for 오곡밥 is exactly the same as a regular rice.
네, 자,
그죠,
그러고요.
선생님?
팥은 이렇게 삶아둔 건데요. 팥이 이렇게 터지지 않도록 이렇게 삶으시고
Yeah, right.
팥물은 이렇게 받아놔주세요.
So this has to be boiled for a while, so I'll show you the finished ones. As you can see, the bean skins are all intact. They are not burst open.
That's right.
That's-
You don't have little ugly holes floating around.
No, that's
Yeah.
one reason we wanted to change the water once it's boiling. And the water, Mrs. Lee, shall we show the water?
네.
So this is the water that we reserved after you boil the beans for a while. And then it has nice
Really
brownish color.
has a rich color like chocolate milk.
I was going to just to say that, right. So all the ingredients are ready to make 오곡밥 5-grain rice. 이제 불에 안 쳐야 되겠죠?
네, 자 준비가 됐으면요. 자, 쌀 거기다가
That's
멜란이도
a regular rice.
Am I
Melanie,
gonna
would you
make
like to
some
make
over
your
here?
own rice?
전달해
Okay.
드릴게요.
So you put rice. This is a regular rice called 쌀. And then next a sweet rice called 찹쌀. And the portion is also about 1 cup each portion, or you can also adjust the amount, whatever is your favorite.
Usually in things
grain.
like rice, it's not so important the exact
No,
proportions.
especially
is that
with
right?
Korean food, as you have experience, you will develop your own favorite amount or flavor that you can do. Also, this is red beans, boiled red beans you will add.
콩 그다음에
And then black beans, I will add a little bit black
This
beans.
is really a nutritious
Yes,
dish.
it is. And there's no fat whatsoever. I know sometimes you put the butter when you make rice pilaf, but this one just water. And
I
you-
admit, I do.
and then you just put a little bit of salt. 그다음에 수수 넣어야 되겠죠?
네, 수수 넣으시고요.
수수, millet.
자, 콩
네.
넣으셨어요?
네, 콩도 넣습니다.
예.
So all down there.
자, 여기다가 팥물 아까 받아놓은 거
네.
팥물 넣어주시고.
And then you will add those
I still
red,
need
brown
glutinous millet,
rice.
too.
This we're gonna add.
Oh,
We're not
later?
Yes, we're not gonna add later. You're pretty good, Melanie. Good
I'm-
observer.
I'm glad you're here.
So this we're gonna add later. I'll tell you about this later. But now, after you put those 팥물, which is red bean water, we will add more regular water.
물 좀 더
넣어야
넣어주세요.
되겠죠?
To just about cover it,
A little bit over.
little bit over the top.
And usually when we do it, in regular rice, I always use my finger, go up to this much.
Oh, one
That's
knuckle
one
above the
knuckle,
rice.
right.
Oh, that
but
is
for
really
this dish,
clever.
it's important to put less water than that because as you see, everything is soaked and boiled.
So it has water in it already.
Right. So put slightly
So
less
let's
water.
see.
Less
It's
than,
about half a knuckle.
Okay, that's good. So I think it's the right amount. So you put it on your stove. So that's it. Cover it. And they will make a full boil. In the beginning, you always make the rice full boil. And this is the same as regular rice you will make it. Make a full
소금 좀
boil.
넣어주시고요. 소금 좀
네.
넣어주세요.
And then sprinkle a little bit of salt.
What, a pinch? How,
Yes.
About that much?
Yes. That's good. And all we need to do is wait until it makes a full boil. So once it's a full boil, we'll make it to medium. And then add this is chamjo, which is glutinous
Because it cooks
millet.
faster.
Right, and you add this, and then you turn it to simmer, and then cook about additional 20 minutes.
I see. So if you had added that too soon, it would get too glutinous.
Yes, that's right. Okay, so while rice is cooking, we're going to start these 3 kinds of vegetables. Here we have dried zucchini, which we call hoba. 호박 is zucchini. And this one, you just need to soak it in cold water for a while. And for dried eggplants, you need to soak it in warm water. And then for the ones that you mentioned before, the dried fern fronds, you need to actually soak it in water, boil it, and then soak it in water. So you probably want to prepare it the day before, because it does take some time. So here with this eggplant,
예, 가지는 이렇게 좀 손으로 찢어주세요. 너무
you will just
크니까요.
tear it
Ah,
as you like a size. Is it soft enough for you to do it?
yeah.
Right.
And it just
Yeah.
tears right in half.
Right. So that's how we will make it like almost a bite size.
여러 번 물에다
네.
깨끗이 헹궈주세요.
And then rinse in a nice fresh water a couple times. That's all you need to do it.
이거는 이제 물에 담가놓은
네,
건데요.
네.
요거를 끓는 물에 한 1시간 정도
네.
이렇게 끓여서 이렇게 부드럽게
그렇죠.
만들어주세요.
네. So these been, as I already explained to you, it's been already soaked in water and then boiled in water for about an hour and then soaked in water again like that. So this does take some time, and this is called gosari in Korean, which is dried fern fronds. And then what we do is
여기 이제 보시면은요, 이제 억센 부분이 있거든요.
Right,
억센
right.
부분 같은 거는 좀 다듬으면서 끊어주세요.
Can I just
예,
show
이런
you?
거는요.
So this is a full plant, dried fern.
And you have the little flower
right,
at the
right.
top.
And what you do is the end stem is kind of rather tough, so you want to just take them out. So take end of the stem, and sometimes you can use your hands or you can use your knife. So get rid of those real tough stem
About
at
the
the
top
end.
half or so of
Right,
it.
right. Or this, as you can feel, and it's slightly less, about this much.
그렇게
The
하고
ones, 네.
요거를 이제 먹기
So
좋게 좀
after that, you will
잘라주세요.
just cut to a bite size.
I'm
So-
boiling, so I'll turn it down.
Then we'll add the glutinous millet. 이걸 선생님 집어넣을까요?
네,
저거를
끓으면은
끓였어요.
요거를
예.
좀 넣어주세요.
Half of it. So we'll give Mrs. Lee too. So for vegetables, dried eggplant there and dried fronds, and then dried zucchini is all ready to be cooked, or ready to be seasoned. So let's put the seasonings. 선생님 나중에 하시고요. That's pretty good. And then once we leave there and then simmer it. Important to simmer the rice.
All right, for about 20 minutes,
20
you
minutes,
said.
yes. Let it boil just medium for a while, and then we'll do that. For seasoning the vegetables, we have soy sauce, and then chopped green onion and chopped garlic. These are basic ingredients that we use a lot for vegetables or meat dish. So chopped green onion, chopped garlic, sesame seeds, which are roasted, and then sesame oil.
설탕은
Then
약간만.
just a pinch of sugar. So that's the main seasoning they will use all for 3 different vegetables here. 선생님 좀 넣어주시고요.
네, 양념 여기다
And you know, I bet that sesame oil added to the nutty taste of the zucchini will be a
Yes,
really
yeah,
nice
yeah.
combination.
And then you can add with your hands, but you may use your spoon.
Thank
I know
you.
usually you like to use a spoon or some utensil.
자, 여기다 제가 이거 넣어줄게요.
So for Mrs. Lee, we will add this 참조, which is glutinous millet. 그다음에 줄여야 되겠죠?
This smells delightful.
So the seasoning that Mrs. Lee made, we added all to the 3 different
네.
vegetables, and then we need to stir fry them. So this is the difference. Usually, fresh vegetables we don't stir fry. We will perhaps boil and then put seasoning.
Oh.
But this one, you soak it in water or boil. After that, you put seasoning and then stir fry. That sort of gives a nice nutty flavor that you can enjoy.
Now, I noticed that she's adding more oil, and yet there's already the sesame oil in here. That's not enough?
Sesame oil is not usually for cooking. Sesame oil is for flavor. But vegetable oil is here stir fry, so we will add a little bit of oil on the
Okay.
pan. And then here you will stir fry the hobak, which is dried zucchini. And here we have a gosari, which is a dried fern fronds. And then we have here dried eggplant, which is 가지 in Korean. Here, Eleni. Smells very good.
You're right. If these had been fresh now, water would be exuding from them, but not at all.
Right, not at all. And as you stir fry, we're going to add a little bit of water just to soften it a little bit. And it's a very tender, very nice flavor by doing it. 나중에 물을 조금 넣어야 되겠죠, 선생님?
볶다가 나중에 물을 조금 넣어요.
So here this is a dried 호박, which is zucchini, and then this is a dried fern prawns. Smells wonderful. 다 된 것 같죠, 선생님? So here is a 고사리나물 and 호박나물, and then which is 가지나물. 가지 means eggplants in Korean.
I love eggplants. So this,
Good,
by the
great.
way, do you use the Korean eggplants or the small,
Small
thin
ones.
eggplants,
That's
not the
right.
big
not
fat
the
ones?
Italian kind, because
Yeah.
they tend to be bitter in the center. But Korean kaji is quite tender, and oftentimes we steam and then we season with the fresh kaji, fresh eggplants. Tastes very
Well,
good.
you're right about plentiful. It looks like little mountains of namul.
Yes. And can you imagine 9 different kinds? But these are just 3 kinds we prepared for you today. 밥도 한번 보여드릴까요? It's all done. Our cooking is done. And the rice, cooking rice takes a little bit of time, and these are the ones we cooked in advance. We'll show you. Ta-da!
Oh, it's beautiful.
And they look really healthy, wholesome dish.
It doesn't just look healthy. It
No.
looks like it's time to eat.
I agree with you. So why don't we review our cooking procedure and get to eat now?
January 15th of the lunar year is the first full moon. It is called Jungwol Daeborum, or Daeborum. There are many interesting traditions related to this day. The whole family eats nuts and drinks an alcoholic beverage that is said to improve the hearing. The women prepare many foods with care for their family and neighbors. What was the reason for cracking nuts, such as pine nuts, chestnuts, walnuts, and peanuts, with bare teeth? Koreans eat such nuts on the morning of the full moon. They bite them as many times as their age. It was said to make their skin nice and make their teeth strong. Because of their age, the elderly only bit a few nuts. The shells were taken and thrown on the roof, while another year of health and happiness was wished for. Before the meal, a cold alcoholic beverage called 귀vaj 이술을 is served. It was supposed to improve hearing and wish for only good news throughout the year. Sometimes this day is called a namul holiday because there are so many vegetables served. Various vegetables are dried in the fall. These are used to make namul on Daeborum. Eating namul like this was supposed to prevent heat stroke and bring good health. On such a holiday, the women are very busy. Women learn how to make traditional foods from their mothers and mother-in-laws. The cooking secrets of making delicious food are passed on. The vegetables must be dried with care and then cooked just right. Some ingredients require being carefully cooked, and some only need to be soaked in water, squeezed, and then stir-fried. Mushrooms are soaked in water, squeezed, and stir-fried. Each namul has different ingredients and seasonings. They are all prepared in various ways. Doraji, bellflowers, is ripped into smaller pieces, seasoned, and then stir-fried. Chinamul is made by boiling the namul and then stir-frying it with ground beef. These namul are eaten with okok-bop, 5-grain rice. Sometimes namul is placed on rice. It is called boksam and is supposed to bring good luck. Namul, made with dried vegetables, have a different taste from regular namul. Jangwol-daeborum is the first full moon. Seeing the first full moon is supposed to bring good luck. The whole family gathers and wishes for health and happiness. Preparing all these foods couldn't have just been for tradition. It also has the meaning of caring for family and neighbors.
Today's dish, 오곡밥 and ahob-namul, are the representative dishes of 정월-대보름. Now let's see how they taste. How nice! All those different kinds here we have in front of us.
This really looks like a vegetarian feast.
Yeah, isn't it? That looks very delicious. I'll give you a little bit of this 고사리 나물, which is the prawns, 가지 나물, eggplants, and 호박 나물, zucchini.
I can't wait to try it.
선생님 제가 좀 여기다 할게요.
You know, I tasted a little of this dried zucchini earlier. It had no flavor at all. So I'm interested to see what it's going to taste
yes.
like. You're right, it's a nutty flavor.
And try the okok-bop 5-grain rice too, which we have 6 grains.
And one is the millet, I guess, puts a little green color into it.
Yes, the glutinous millet.
This is like Christmas rice, green and red. It's much more substantial than regular rice.
Definitely, and kind of chewy. You get to enjoy all different texture.
It's really good.
That's good.
I want to try these little fern fronds. Now, you told me earlier the actual flour is the tenderest part. That is
Got an
good.
interesting flavor. Very nutty and very
complex.
savory. Yes, yeah. 선생님 다른 음식은 또 뭘 할 수가 있을까요? 정월 대보름에.
예, 대보름에 이제 약식이라든가
예,
아니면 이제 복이 나가지 말라고 복을 싸라고 이제 김이라든가 야채로 이렇게 밥을 싸서 먹는 이제 그런 복삼이라고 또 있어요.
Also, there are other food that we really enjoy during the 정월 대보름, and one is 약식. You might have seen with the modern kimchi program, it's a sweet rice sort of cake, sweet rice called 약식. You have a lot of different ingredients that we enjoy during 정월 대보름. Another dish that's really interesting is called boksam, good fortune wrapping. So what it is, you are using kim or lettuce, you are wrapping things together. What it means is for your coming fortune for the new year, you wrap the fortune so it won't go out. It will stay with you, with your family.
I remember we did that show on wrapped foods.
Right. So those are the important thing with this tradition. Have some more.
Well, I will. This zucchini, I think, is the best of all. It's so crunchy.
Yeah, and the color is actually nice green color. Yeah. 이거를 보통 바깥에다 이렇게 말리죠, 선생님?
네.
보통 그 계절은 언제가 되나요? 여름에 하나요?
그렇죠. 이제 호박 여름에 많이 나오니까 저장했다가 이제 먹는 거죠.
So the drying season depends on when the vegetable is in a peak. Then you will slice them and dry naturally out in the sun. So today we made 오곡밥 and ahob-namul, which are eaten on 정월 대보름. Koreans traditionally were farmers, so we really enjoy vegetables. Perhaps if you try one or two of them, you will find your family loves vegetables too. Thanks for joining us today, and be sure to see our next program. Thank you. 안녕히 계세요.